Hello.
Hi.
I'm sorry, hang on. Ma'am, what's your name? My name is Angela Nitchman, Nitchman. Okay, your name?
You said Felicia Pren. I'm her mother, and I'm reading for her. You didn't know how to say, yes, you didn't know how to say the last name. P-R-E-H-N.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Go ahead, and then we'll let you go.
Okay. Felicia Pren is my daughter. I'm Veronica Thomas, Thomas, 59 Reynolds Road, Kingsley, PA, 18826. This is written by my daughter. My name is Felicia Pren. I'm legally blind wife and student that lived in Susquehanna County for 10 years. Up until this past summer, I was relatively normal 20-year-old. I went to hockey games, concerts, hung out with my friends, and tried my best to relax and enjoy life. I took a trip to Canada in May and had an awesome 2 weeks. When I came back, the excitement for seeing my family, my animals, was quickly gone. As soon as I stepped out of my friend's car, all I heard was the sound of what I thought was construction from across the lake. I soon learned that it was actually the sound of a fracking well from over a mile away. The noise was so loud that it literally drowned out my TV, my air conditioner. That same well later went on to contaminate an entire pond with methane. I'm no tree hugger. I'm just a person that misses being able to walk around outdoors and hear the sounds of the nature my family moved here for in the first place, and not, I don't know what the next line is. I understand that this area needs money. I come from a very modest and humble background with hardworking parents. However, this is not the path to prosperity. We have already let companies who have proven over and over again that they feel our lives and properties are disposable, destroy so much land, water, air. So what makes anyone believe this project is a good idea? How much of an explosion is it going to take for those who support this to look past the money and realize just what kind of a mess we've gotten ourselves into? So as you all sit here and listen to what I assume is half actual, heartfelt statements and half greedy people who got paid enough to sell out their own neighbors, I'd like to say this. Everything I'm about to say is factual, and I have the articles to back it up. Most Marcellus gas is going to China. The naturally occurring methane in the water on Carter Road has a different chemical makeup than the methane associated with Marcellus gas, and it would not explain the brown color of the presence of weapons-made materials. There is 80% less gas in the Marcellus shale than the gas companies previously stated. PA residents are being forced to look for homes in Lackawanna and other nearby counties because out-of-state workers have taken up all of the vacant places to live. There has only been 0.05 drop in unemployment in places in PA where drilling happens. Gas company spokespeople have admitted to using psychological tactics to sell people on the idea of their practices. Nearly all of our state politicians have received money from various gas companies in the form of campaign contributions. If it's easier for you to believe that your own neighbors are lying rather than a multi-million-dollar corporation who's only here to extract gas and then leave, take off your tinfoil hat, see a therapist, and start apologizing to your neighbors. Because unlike the gas companies, they'll still be here once the gas is gone, and we'll all be left to rebuild our lives together. Divided we the people fall, but united we stand, and we cannot be defeated. This was written by my daughter, and I didn't know what she wrote, but I still live it. She moved to Finland because of the gas wells, and I've lost my child because of it, and I live at Acre Lake, and for 11, 12 days, I heard the noise of the flaring gas from the wells, day and night. And now I know there's a compressor station going up, and I don't know enough about it, that's why I'm here. And I hope that you can please protect us and protect our environment. Because I moved from New York City to be safe, and I don't feel safe anymore. Thank you.
Thank you. name is Bella for the record. Sir. My name is Angela Nitchman, N like Nancy, I-T-C-H-M-A-N. I'm a resident of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, 47 Rank, R-A-N-C-K Avenue. I'm here because I was bringing water to Dimmock because we get our drinking water from the Susquehanna River. So if one river is fracked, then all our water is fracked. And as far as this compressor station goes, it's hard to follow up with Josh Fox and a list of others, but if you can't build it clean, you shouldn't be building it at all. And our country's addiction to fossil fuels is a lie, and we're being fed it and we're accepting it. And oil is running out, it's past the peak, it's almost gone. The same thing will happen with natural gas, the same thing has happened to coal, and what we have left is mountains that are destroyed, fish that can't reproduce because the hormones in the water have made them genetically unable to do so, and water that you can't drink, but you can light it on fire. And who ends up with something? A couple people end up with some money from using their land, and the people at the very top get tons and tons of dough. So it just seems, I'm young and I don't know, but I think that we could have a better solution than this. And I think that if our government fails us, and if the DEP fails us, then they're not doing their job, and they should get kicked out. Because that's what happens when you don't do your job correctly. We should be protecting the environment, and all we do is make it slowly worse and worse every day. It should be no emissions, not just a certain amount that won't kill you instantly, it'll just kill you over a period of years. It's very obvious. So, yeah, throw it out and don't accept these lies.
Hear, hear.
Thank you.
My name is Jim Barber, Jimbarbour, and I live at 1250 Barber Hill Road in Halstead. I spent my high school years in this auditorium. I'm a local. I wanted to say tonight that 2 years ago this month, we entered into a contractual agreement with Laser. Since then, we have entered into several contractual agreements with them. And in my opinion, in my experience, they've done a great job. They have gone beyond what they needed to make sure that things are right. In my opinion, they are very environmentally friendly. People say that wildlife has moved out. I've watched a lot of deer, even in the last couple of days, enjoying the pipeline route. That's where they're feeding. And I think that it's changed some things, but it's not all bad. As far as air quality, I've listened to people speak tonight, and it's fascinating that if we could build a compressor station with zero emissions and zero noise, that would be acceptable, and yet we all drove here with combustion engines tonight, making pollutants, putting out hydrocarbons, and we'll get in them and drive back home. Collectively, how much pollution did we make tonight? I would appeal to technology and common sense. Technology is different than it used to be. Compressor stations 10 years ago are different than they are today. Compressor stations even in Susquehanna County will be different. Ones being built now are different than they were before. Running on natural gas obviously makes them cleaner. Some have said that they should run on electricity, but then someplace, somehow, that electricity needs to be produced, and that moves this same discussion to somebody else's hometown.
Solar energy.
I would say tonight that as we think about air quality, we all want clean air. We all want clean water. I appreciate our land. I love our land. I love the water and the air that we breathe. And I think that as time goes on, we'll see how things turn out. Is there difficulties at times? Sure there is. It's a process that we're working through, but my experience with Laser has been that they have gone beyond what they have needed to do. I would expect them to continue to do that. And if they're going to build a compressor station, I'm sure that it will be of latest technology and as quiet as possible. And I appreciate that. Now, as far as other things that we could talk about, a lot of things have been said tonight. But the bottom line is this: we who live here will live here, breathe the air, drink the water, and there will be a balance of economy and changes. But I believe that with the regulations that are in place, the things that have been shared, that it will, in the long haul, be positive. And so I would say tonight that I'm in favor of such a thing and appreciate the company, the integrity, and the commitment that Laser has to the community and to the environment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, ma'am, you want to say and spell your name?
Yeah, my name is Deirdre Miley. That's Deirdre Lally. I didn't actually sign up for a slot because I'm from 2 counties away from here, and I thought I'd give space to the locals, but then people came here from New York to say what they thought we should do here, so I figured I'd talk. So I have my family has a lease on our land. I'm from Benton, Pennsylvania. That's in Columbia County. So the thing is, climate negotiations are happening right now in Durban, South Africa, and literally people there are begging the United States to stop blocking any sort of actual action to happen to try to maybe save the planet, and we're sitting here jibber-jabbering about whether or not we're going to have a compressor station to continue fracking. This is blowing my mind. We have beyond killed our chances of a healthy planet. I work in public health. I'm a community health organizer. I do community health assessments. I completely understand the sad state of the health in this area. And I'm terrified about what fracking is going to do. I can't believe people are thinking this could possibly be positive. My job is so intense because people are so sick here and have so many health problems. This is going to affect the way that our organs are functioning and our bodies, and think beyond human health. This is animal health, this is plant health. Everything around us is under such threat. My family's been in this area for, well, we got our land from William Penn's son, so I am really insulted that my family's being... I just think this is such an insult to those of us who have been here for a very long time, and especially the people who have been here long before Europeans came here. This is awful what we're doing to this land right now. Here's the other thing. I studied community organizing and I studied labor history. That's what I got my bachelor's degree in. So I understand how to do research. I understand the history of this area. I understand how to do objective viewpoints and arguments. And I've been researching fracking for years now. And I've had a lot of people, actually, my friends and I have received death threats in our local area for speaking out against this, but I know for a fact how horrible this is going to be. And just kind of to show the insanity of us actually thinking this could possibly be okay here. In the UK right now, the very first fracking well is kind of under construction, and you know what happened? The first one, protesters are sitting in it so that it cannot function. The first one. The first one. People are looking at us as sacrifice zones, and it's insulting, it's terrifying. We're living, so I was raised Christian, and since then I haven't identified with a Christian religion, but I'm starting to think that we're in a living hell, those of us who have to live with fracking. I really am. It's kind of bringing me back to my Christian upbringing. I've gone over this. I do think this is hellish. Everybody's talking about jobs. I understand, my family signed a lease. Everybody in my town is, oh, we needed to save our farm. Well, then what's with those 5 new pickup trucks in your yard? Seriously, I'm not, and I am by no means against the people who sign leases. My family has a lease. There are no jobs on a dead planet. We are about to be facing a dead planet. We've gone beyond all chances of saving it. We're sitting here fooling around talking about compressor stations. It's the bigger picture, people. This is way too dangerous to be fooling around with. And as for the gas industry, that's insanity. Somebody said earlier it's insanity. It's insanity. I am speechless about what's going on. So maybe that wasn't coherent, but I felt like it needed to be said. Thanks.
Thank you. My name is Beth Williams, Beth Williams. I live at 215 Sterling, Sterling Road in Montrose, 18801. I'm here representing the True Friends Animal Welfare Center here in Montrose. We are the only no-kill shelter in the area. We service both Susquehanna and Wyoming counties. And I'm here to, I don't know, I guess I've heard a lot of things. A lot of people have thrown around the word gas industry when talking about this compressor. We're not talking about an industry, we're talking about laser. And laser has been a true friend to us. Laser is not a multi-billion-dollar corporation to us, they're people. When we went to them for help and sponsorship, they didn't just write us a check. They came forth as a group, as a community, and they volunteered at our shelter. They put on a huge golf tournament, which included the community, to help raise funds for us. So they're not just an industry. They're people who live amongst us. And everybody needs to remember that. They breathe our air, and they drink our water, and they may not have been born here, but they're here to live, and a lot of them are here to stay. Okay? So I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I appreciate your passion on this issue, and I think if we all work together, we can come to a lot of good solutions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
You want to speak, sir?
Yes.
Okay. State your name, spell it for the record.
My name is Jack Fazel, Jackbasile, from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Address is 448 North Market Street, Lancaster, 17602. My question is actually for everybody here with the DEP and this guy from I'm just wondering, you guys know the effects. You know the effects of what's happening. You know the effects that gas drilling has. Why aren't you doing anything about it? I want you all to look at me and answer me. Why is nothing being done?
Sir, we're going to take testimony tonight.
Yeah, I'm just asking. Oh, no, this is
It'll be a
testimony.
response period.
Okay, well, I have 5 minutes. I was up here in June. I know exactly what's happening. I've watched flowback water be sprayed on the roads. I've watched dirty methane be released into the atmosphere. Just, bam, there it is. I had a meeting with Janice Lovedell in June from Cabot Oil and Gas. And she said that they have this closed loop system. They're working with the DEP and the Environmental Protection Agency. Once again, she showed us pictures of how everything should be. Once again, nothing is that way. It's that way if you drive up 29 and it all looks perfect and pristine. You take one trip. On side roads, nothing. No regulations, nothing. Nothing, no berms around the tanks, nothing. So once again, you know what's going on. Why is nothing happening?
Thanks, sir. State your name and record, please.
My name is Linda Melvin. I wrote my testimony too.
Thank you.
I did sign up in writing, but I missed it.
Okay, there you go.
There we go.
Thank you.
My first involvement, my name is Linda Melvin. I live at RR2, box 2240, Factoryville, Pennsylvania, 18419. I'm originally from Clarks Summit, Pennsylvania. My first involvement, my first knowledge of the gas industry was when the great Mayor Tillman of Dish, Texas came to give a presentation in the Clarks Summit Fire Hall. And he talked about water pollution a little bit. And he said that wasn't really his issue down there in Dish, Texas. He said air pollution was the problem down there. He said he had the blood tested of his citizens in the town for which he was the responsible mayor, the leader, and they all had high levels of toluene in their blood, higher than any of the surrounding areas, and it seemed to all be kind of coagulated around a compressor station. So he did this, he asked his Department of Environmental Protection in Texas to take a look at it, and they refused. So he got his own act together, and he started to monitor the air emissions from this compressor station. And if I recall what he said right, they were pumping out toxins that they were not reporting. They were able to filter out many of these toxins, and yet they weren't. So somehow or another, he convinced this Texas government to do something about it, and he got his filters. And then the company doing this compression station didn't even run these filters regularly unless they knew the mayor was down there with a meter. Then they'd turn them on so that he couldn't read the things. I don't really know these people from Laser, and frankly, I don't care if I know them or not. I think that the mayor's observations are pretty prescient. I read the stuff that the Clean Air Council has put out about these compressor stations, and I also read the information that your group put out when you invited us to give testimony. The one comment was that in a rolling 12-month period, that there wouldn't be certain exceedance levels, and I won't repeat it all for you, but what that basically said to me was that at some times during the 12-month period, during the 365 days a year, there's going to be times when they're going to exceed the health-based levels called action levels. That at sometimes during that 12-month period, they're going to have garbage coming out of the top of these compressor stacks greater than should be. And that means that people who live near them and people who live downwind from them are going to be breathing in those unhealthy levels. I think this is a bad health risk. And I think that it's not as difficult to put filtration and monitor it in real time and continually. I work with petroleum underground storage tank cleanups, and routinely the DEP asks a consultant who's cleaning up a gasoline release if they're going to sparge the vapors out of the soils to put filtration. They get a permit and they put filtration on them, and they capture all these VOCs and the NOx, and they monitor this stuff remotely through the telephone lines. So it's not a hardship to ask them to do continual monitoring. It's a reasonable, available technology. I understand that maybe your regulations don't allow you to say no to every compressor, or that maybe the zoning in this town it doesn't really have a way to keep it out. I know in my township, we don't really have anything addressing compressor stations, and yet there's this ordinance that they want to put out there now that says, oh yeah, you can put compressor stations right next to where people live. That should be in an industrial zone. It shouldn't be where people live, it shouldn't be where people recreate, and it sure as heck shouldn't be where kids go to school, people go to church, people shop for their food, cows drink the water. This bioaccumulation of these toxins is pretty significant. I think all you have to do is read the studies to know. So if you have to allow this, which I don't agree you have to, but if you have to allow this, then you should at least require them to monitor this stuff continually, 24 hours a day. There are ways that you can reduce the amounts.
30 seconds.
There are ways you can reduce the amounts of the noise coming out. They have hospital-grade mufflers. That was a testimony that we received in my township about them. So I would encourage you, if you have to allow this, that you require them to monitor continually, and that they provide you with that data every day in a streaming format on digitally. It's inexpensive and it's available.
Thank you. Okay, it is now 9:22 in the evening. That's going to conclude the public hearing. As a reminder, public comment period will close on Friday, December 16th. If you wish to submit written testimony between now and then, you can do so. Please feel free, and hand in any resources that you want to make part of the record. You can call our offices at 570-826-2511, or send written testimony to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, Public Square, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Our address is on our website. Thank you for being here, and we appreciate you taking your time to come out. Have a safe trip home, everyone. Thanks again. Thank you.